So my start was pretty average. I kind of got blocked off by two guys on the outside, but thankfully being a 3K, that wasn't too much of an issue. I could just work my way up, but I also didn't want to race that first lap too fast and put in lots of lactics, so being able to sit closest to the back was quite a good thing for me. So at this point I was feeling pretty strong. I mean, we'd only run about 200 meters, but yeah, coming into this I was feeling really good, and I think it was just a big bundle of excitement and a bit of nerves, being a national championship. So yeah, it was lots of fun. I'd been waiting for this day for a really long time, so to finally be able to get out and race was just amazing. So I was tucked at the back, as you can see, well, closest to the middle really, so I didn't want to sit too far up the front, but going through in about a 1:11, so 71 second lap for me, was pretty optimal. It was that sub 9 pace, but I was not one to want to go out and run a 63 second first lap like I have in the past. So I was sitting pretty nicely. It was all going to plan. I had a few of my fellow under 15 runners up there, so it was all going pretty well. I was sitting, I think, third at this point, so I was not getting my hopes up too high because I knew we still had 600 meters still to run, so I just had to keep it chill, stay and race how I knew I had to race so that I could come home and secure that podium finish. So yeah, I was pretty happy. I didn't really know what was going on behind me very much because I made sure not to look back, but I was definitely looking around a fair bit because, to be honest, running around, like, it didn't feel that hard. Like, we were running fast, but it didn't feel that fast because I'd done it all in training. I knew this pace and I knew what to do to cover any moves that were made. So yeah, it all panned out pretty well. I was pretty confident that it was all going to stick to plan, and if not, I knew how to deal with it, so I was in a really good position. So as you can see, I'm still sitting third in the middle of that pack, which is right where I wanted to be. So that meant that I went through the first K in about 3 minutes, sorry. So that was pretty good. It was right on my pace that I ran at the 3K state champs, which was my PB of 9 minutes. But yeah, so I was sitting pretty nicely, feeling confident that I could secure a good one. So at this point we were coming around and I was sitting second in the under 15s, but I don't really know exactly where I was in terms of like overall, but that was not really the main thing that mattered for this race. It was more just to podium for my age group. But yeah, there were lots of great athletes in the field. Every single one of them had the chance to medal, so it was really about being the best on the day and seeing who had it all on the track. So yeah, it was kind of crazy because I was just kind of watching people go past me, but I knew that in the long term I just needed to stay to my plan because I knew that people were not going to get that far ahead, and if they did, I would just have to cover that move. So yeah, I was pretty happy with where I was sitting and how I was running, and yeah, I felt pretty good going through that 1.4k split. So yeah, I was confident. We had 4 laps left to go, so it was all feeling good, and I was excited as we approached that 1500 split, running a time that was on track for sub 9. I did not know that at the time, to be honest. Usually I look at the clock and see where I'm at, but I couldn't even find the clock. Like, I knew it was there, I knew where it was, but yeah, I couldn't bring myself to look at the clock because I was racing for place and not for time. So yeah, running this, it was good. It was quite a fun experience. because it was pure championship racing. It was my second track nationals, but the first one where I'd actually felt good. In my previous one in Adelaide earlier this year, I had terrible sickness, so I was not able to perform at my best. But this one I was really pumped for, and yeah, it was a great experience. So we came through, we're hitting 1.2 to go, so 3 laps left, and this is where some of the moves started to be made. So you may have seen the Queenslander, who is coming through now. So he was now the main target that I had to catch in order to secure that gold medal. So I stuck to the plan. I didn't make my move just yet, but I knew that there was the possibility that I would have to cover a move that was possibly going to be made. So we reached the 2K split in 6 minutes, so I was probably around that 6:01 kind of time because I was sitting a little bit back. But yeah, it was quite fun just watching what was going on up front, so that I was ready to strike whenever I needed either that or follow a move that was made. But credit to the Western Australian guy who led a lot of the race. He paced it really, really well, and meant that we were running honest paces so that we didn't have some stupid kick in the last lap. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll have to wait and find out what happens. We went through 2 laps to go. I was sitting towards the end of that main pack. We had 2 of the under 15s Victorians kind of off the back there. So it was me and the Queenslander running, trying to secure that gold. And yeah, so it was just making sure that we held off the 2 Victorians at the, just off the back. But yeah, going out to nearly lane 4, that was a move. It didn't really go too successfully because my aim was to try and strike at that 600, but I couldn't quite get around the ACT athlete. But then we saw the Queenslander, who was in my age group, make a bit of a move at 600, so I knew that I had to cover that, and I gave it everything. But I also did not want to tie myself too much sprinting after him, so I kind of hung back and just slowly ramped up the pace a bit. But as we took the belt, I knew that I just had to leave everything out there. So that was really when I just went, and I kind of did just hope for the best. I hoped that my legs would just hold up, but they started to get away, and the lactic was starting to settle in. So I was starting to struggle as Kieran made that monster move, and the Queensland athlete followed. So that was a struggle. I just had to go, yep, I need to follow this move, and I tried everything and I gave everything I could. But coming around that 200, I was starting to fatigue quite a bit, so I was starting to struggle a bit, but I knew that I just had to try and catch him. Unfortunately, he just got a little bit too far ahead. The rubber band theory kind of started, and he just got a little bit too far, and I couldn't wind him in. So I just managed to hold on to take that silver in a PB time of 8:55.33. So yeah, I was stoked to have gotten national silver and a 5-second PB. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, share and subscribe to help us reach 1K. See you next time.